Good afternoon, teachers, faculty, family, and fellow graduates. We are humbled to represent ISB's graduating class of 2019, and we hope to serve as the best hype man possible. My name is Derek Wang.
And my name is Rosie Stacy. Wow, what a time it has been. Before we begin all the dramatic, tear-jerking stuff, let's give another big round of applause for our graduating class.
I think we can all be amazed at how far we've come. Parents, you're probably wondering where the years have gone, and really so are we. As you gaze upon and admire your beautiful sons and daughters currently sitting on the stage, reflecting on all that we've accomplished, it must seem like just yesterday when you sent us toddling off for our very first days at kindergarten.
Despite our shared confusion, it truly has been a long journey and a hard one at that. I think we can all recall being told, don't worry, when it comes to your final IAs, oral commentaries, and final exams, you'll be ready. Oh, how wrong they were. Still as nervous as ever, we stand before you to recall our good times, bad times, and nervous breakdowns. Therefore, we're going to ask all graduates to join hands on stage now as we reminisce our memories from the past 2 years.
Guys, come on, let's see the hands. All right, that's cute, that's cute. Families, join in amongst yourselves if you'd like.
Okay, I think we should start from the beginning.
Remember the Gestad retreat, August 2017. In the hopes of getting to know each other, we raced in teams to see who could roll over, face first, each other's crotches and bums the fastest. This resulted in a lot of delightful content for our ISB Media Gallery. All right, Roses, you guys can stop. I remember how, to practice working as a team, we constructed rafts using wooden planks, ropes, and large empty containers for buoyancy.
Derek, we tried to construct rafts.
Yes, that's right, Rosie. We did try our very best, but succeeding in a task like this took more than common sense and good teamwork. You're taking HL Physics and Design Technology? Fantastic, we'd say, as if simply choosing these subjects to learn in the 2 years yet to come entailed some inborn talent and inclination that were useful for this mission. Besides the subject material, what we had yet to learn was that our natural desire to peg each other with these generalizations would only lead to disaster. We weren't math kids, English kids, or chemistry kids. We were stupid kids.
Derek, this is the good times part of the speech.
Right. Nevertheless, this is what it looked like.
You take HL Math? Wowza! Tell us what you think the best shape is for this floating.
You take HL Art. Stay back. You can be the one to test the raft later in case it sinks. Miraculously, some groups did succeed, but most didn't. And we lost a lot of art, sports science, and studies kids to the lake that day. Little did we know, both these activities at Gestad would be a metaphor for our next 2 years.
Next up is our proms. Remember how we would stay a maximum of 2 hours before heading to the A1 club. Sorry, A2. You're never going to live that one down, Mr. Thomas. Despite that, those are some good nights, and I'm sure we won't forget them anytime soon.
Remember getting to nap in the aula with the lights off and the soothing backdrop of a documentary about bumping uglies. I mean, big uglies.
It was giants, dude, giants.
Yes, big ugly giants. Thank you.
And finally, last week at Grad Trip, I'm sure all the parents were relieved we came back, while us students perhaps not so much. It was not only an unforgettable time together, but also a chance for us all to taste that hint of independence we are so eager for. And of course, it offered us many learning opportunities to take forward onto this next step of our lives. Hello, chicken nugget. Looking back at our time at the ISB, there may only be one quote that sums it up most accurately. In the words of Charles Dickens, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Thanks to the ISB's mission statement being revised at the start of DP, we all had fun learning. However, throughout it all, we were faced with the countless daunting challenges that, of course, we managed to overcome.
We completed assignments despite losing essential drafts to tragic corruption.
We stayed on track in class despite numerous ill-timed doctor's appointments.
We gathered crucial IA data that proved our hypotheses correct, despite not being able to always be closely supervised by our teachers during experiments.
We studied new languages despite perfect grammar not being a feature of Google Translate.
Jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, Sitting in front of you right now is a cohort of unique, accomplished, and robust individuals. Despite it all, we're here, and we're incredibly proud.
But I think we can all agree that none of us could have done this by ourselves. Firstly, to our families, thank you for your unconditional love. Thank you for dropping mad stacks to invest in us in order to provide us with the privilege to attend ISB and much more. Despite what may seem like great efforts to convince you otherwise, we also love and appreciate you more than you can imagine. From schoolwork to our social lives, you are always there to pick us up when we are down and relentlessly support our aspirations. Thank you for allowing us to be here today.
To our teachers, thank you for believing in us as well. Your passion and dedication bled through each and every lesson. You profoundly inspired us inside and outside the classroom. While we may never see eye to eye with you on homework volume, assignment deadlines, or the credibility of Wikipedia as an academic source, we are truly grateful for you. Thanks for keeping it real, for making sure our efforts were spent as efficiently as possible, and for making it dead clear to us when you knew we weren't achieving our full potentials, pushing us to be better. I mean, for instance, the first supervising reading of any economics extended essay always begins with, maybe you should reconsider. Honestly, I don't know what's realer than that. Teachers, allow us to return the favor by also keeping it real. We apologize now in advance for our final IB scores.
To the rest of our faculty, we want to thank you for your much valued organizational role within the ISB community. The support and backbone you provided us throughout our time here has not and will never go unnoticed.
I think we can all agree that whenever we heard that good morning from Mr. Walsh, we knew it was going to be a good day.
And whenever we heard Coach Green screaming down the hallway about IAs or basketball games, we knew we had to run in the other direction.
Thank you to Mr. Pargel and the athletics department. Only after his relentless efforts did each and every ISB student don a red and black tracksuit at our matches. And only then were we able to achieve true aesthetic synergy and finally become the beautiful, fiery dragons we were always meant to be. Thank you to the senior school office for always letting us borrow your staplers and implicitly colluding with us. You may not have ever thought anything of it, but nevertheless, we like to think of you as guardians of the sign-out sheet, always gave us your blessings for all those doctor's appointments.
Okay, next is Mr. Coffey. Thank you for coordinating our past 2 years and for your gentle heart. We could see the care you had for us every day with you running around the hallway after us, making sure we had this and that honed to perfection.
After 2 rounds of mock exams, with you persistently warning us to bring all of our own test materials, our hearts swooned last month when you still handed out tissues, rulers, pens, pencils, erasers, and calculators to all of us who needed them.
Oh my god!
Anyways, we are here now and we made it. And we now have the future to look forward to. However, in order to be true IB learners, we must also use this time for reflection. It is important to recognize that many of those whom we view today as heroes, leaders, and history makers started out just like us. Therefore, as we go onto the world and conquer whatever field we choose, remember that anyone can make an impact, and it is our job as the next generation to improve and sculpt our world for the better.
Even though endings are sad, they bring us closer together. The thought of never seeing some of the people here again is sorrowful, but nevertheless, we should all do our best to remember each other and stay connected.
As after this ceremony concludes and life takes us in 100 different directions, take the time every now and then to think about these past 2 years. Reminisce about the people, the places, and the opportunities we experienced, and wince and cringe at the hardships we endured together. Don't remember our time by popularity or Instagram likes.
Remember it instead by the meaningful relationships we formed and the lessons we learned. Like those metaphors from Gestalt. Dive face first with haste into what you desire. Most of what you'll do will sink in failure, but be proud and keep trying, never letting yourself sink with it.
DP wasn't about how many L's that were dropped in our faces,
or how many IB 7s we secured.
It was about the people we were ultimately shaped into becoming by them.
So congratulations, class of 2019.
It has been a pleasure knowing and growing with you all, and we wish you the best in the future. Please, we ask everyone now to give another big round of applause for the class of 2019.
Thank you, Rosie and Derek. That was wonderful. At this time, I'd like to invite the ISB Big Band to the stage to set up for their final performance. While they're setting up, I'd like to say a few thank yous. Thank you to the many people who helped put together this wonderful ceremony this afternoon.